Imagine this. You step out the door. The world outside seems to be covered only by a white blanket. Strangely peaceful and quiet. But do not let that beauty deceive you, because the moment you decide to walk into that white void without preparation, you are entering a duel with one of Mother Nature's most ruthless forces. Today, I will not speak cliches. I will show you where death comes from in a blizzard. From your body betraying itself through hypothermia, to the deadly electrical traps hidden beneath your feet, and the sides of death hanging overhead. This is the knowledge to save your life. Let us start with the first enemy, the enemy from within your body. Hypothermia and frostbite. Do you know what actually happens when the human body is exposed to extreme cold? It is not simply a feeling of shivering. It is a complex biological process that if you do not understand clearly, you will lose before you even realize you are in danger. When you walk outdoors in a blizzard, wind is a more dangerous factor than the actual temperature. We call that the wind chill factor. A -5 degrees Celsius day can feel like -20 degrees Celsius if the wind blows hard, and it robs your heat many times faster than still air. When your body starts losing heat faster than it can produce it, the hypothalamus in your brain, your thermoregulatory center, will send out a red alert signal. In the first stage, you will shiver. Do not underestimate it. Shivering is the body's desperate effort to warm itself by constantly contracting muscles. But if you get wet, perhaps from melting snow soaking into your clothes, or from sweating because you are wearing too many non-breathable layers, water will conduct heat away from your body 25 times faster than air. At this point, you are in a precarious situation. When the core body temperature drops below 35 degrees Celsius, 95 degrees Fahrenheit, shivering may stop. This is not a good sign. It is a sign that your body has exhausted its energy. This is when the real danger begins. Confusion. Blood is withdrawn from the limbs to protect the heart, lungs, and brain. You begin to lose motor coordination. You may stumble, be unable to re-zip your jacket, or stutter your words unclearly. The scariest thing about hypothermia is that it attacks your judgment. In rescue history, we have witnessed the paradoxical undressing phenomenon. When hypothermia reaches the final stage, the blood vessel constriction mechanism is paralyzed. Hot blood from the core rushes back to the skin, making the victim feel burning hot, as if they are on fire. In their delirium, they tear off their clothes in the freezing snow. And that is often the final act before death. Or terminal burrowing behavior, when the victim tries to huddle into narrow places like under tables or tree hollows to die. A primitive instinct of hibernating animals. So how to survive? The golden rule when walking: dry is survival. You must follow the 3-layer principle, layering system. The innermost layer against the skin must absolutely not be cotton, because cotton holds water and will kill you when it is wet. Use merino wool or synthetic fibers to wick away sweat. The middle layer is the insulation layer, like puffer jackets, down, to trap warmth. And the outermost layer must be a windproof, waterproof shell. If you feel yourself starting to sweat while walking, unzip the outer layer immediately. Never let the body get wet from the inside. And remember, 30 to 50% of body heat escapes from the head and neck area, so a wool hat covering the ears is an inseparable item. Accompanying hypothermia is frostbite. This is when ice crystals actually form inside your cells, destroying tissue structure. It usually attacks the extremities furthest from the heart: fingers, toes, nose, and ears. The first sign is a sharp pain, redness. If you ignore it, the skin will turn pale white, waxy, and eventually lose all sensation. When your skin has lost sensation, do you think the pain is over? No. That is when the tissue is dying. If not treated, that flesh will turn black, gangrene, and doctors will have no choice but to amputate it to save your life. What is the solution for walkers? Never stand still. Constantly move your fingers and toes inside gloves and shoes. Check teammates regularly by looking at their faces to detect white spots on the nose or cheeks. And a crucial thing, absolutely do not rub snow on the frostbitten area. That is a deadly misconception in movies. Rubbing only causes further damage by pressing sharp ice crystals into the cells. Also, do not use very hot water to soak. Use lukewarm water or body heat, like tucking hands into armpits, to warm up slowly. If you are outdoors and cannot guarantee continuous warmth after thawing, then do not thaw. Refreezing after warming will cause many times worse damage than leaving it in a frozen state until reaching safety. Moving away from biological hazards, let us talk about an invisible killer, a modern technology trap that few expect when walking in a blizzard: electrocution. We often think electrocution only happens when touching an outlet, but in a blizzard, the street becomes a minefield. Strong wind gusts combined with the weight of ice and snow on wires can snap high voltage or medium voltage power lines. When a wire falls, it often does not lie exposed for you to see. It is buried immediately under the freshly fallen snow. You are walking, eyes squinting because of the wind and snow. You cannot see that wire. And the scary thing is, you do not need to touch the wire directly to be shocked. Snow, especially dirty snow mixed with impurities and de-icing salt on the road, is a conductor. Though poorer than liquid water, it is still dangerous enough at high voltage. When current enters the ground or snow, it creates a spreading voltage zone, like ripples in water when you throw a stone into a lake. This phenomenon is called step potential. As you walk, your 2 feet are placed at 2 different voltage positions on the ground. This potential difference causes current to flow from 1 foot through the body, heart, and down the other foot. That current is strong enough to stop your heart or cause serious internal burns. So how to detect and escape? Always look up. If you see tilted power poles, broken branches leaning on wires, or hear an unusual humming or crackling sound, stop immediately. If you suspect you are near a downed wire, even if buried under snow, absolutely do not run. When you run, your stride widens, increasing the potential difference between your feet, and the current will be stronger. The survival skill here is the shuffle walk. Keep your feet close together, one heel not passing the other toe, and shuffle small steps on the ground without lifting your feet. By keeping both feet in close contact, you eliminate the potential difference. Move at least 10 meters or 35 feet away from the area before walking normally. This is a skill that looks funny, but it is the only thing keeping you from becoming a living conductor. The third hazard comes from above our heads, especially for those living or moving in urban areas with high-rise buildings: roof avalanches and icicles. In major cities around the world, after a large blizzard is often the time when temperatures begin to fluctuate slightly or the sun comes out. This is when death wakes up on the roofs. Compact blocks of snow weighing hundreds of kilograms, or sharp ice formations created from melting water then refreezing, are hanging over your head. Physics is ruthless. An ice block falling from the 20th floor to the sidewalk will reach a terrifying velocity, carrying kinetic energy equivalent to a free-falling bag of cement or even a large caliber bullet. We have recorded countless cases of pedestrians suffering traumatic brain injury, broken necks, even instant death, just because an ice block fell on them. Sharp ice blocks, when falling, act like spears, capable of piercing helmets, thick coats, and causing fatal wounds. The solution here is situational awareness. When walking in the city after a blizzard, do not just look down at your feet to avoid slipping. Look up. Avoid walking close to the walls of high-rise buildings. Walk on the part of the sidewalk furthest from the building as possible. Wearing headphones to listen to music at this time is a suicidal act. You need your ears to hear the cracking of ice or the warning shouts of others. If you hear a loud noise from above, the natural reflex is to look up. Do not do that. You will expose your face and chest, vital areas, to the impact. Instead, immediately jump to the side, if possible, or crouch down. Use your hands to protect your head and neck, face the ground, or tuck close to the wall if there is a sheltering eave. In addition to the 3 direct dangers mentioned above, I want to add an extremely important psychological factor: panic and disorientation in the whiteout phenomenon. In a violent blizzard, the sky and ground merge into one. The horizon disappears. Every familiar landmark is erased. You can get lost right on the street, only a few hundred meters from your house. When visibility drops to 0, the human brain begins to panic. We tend to walk in circles instead of straight when there are no landmarks, leading to rapid exhaustion. If you are stuck in a blizzard while walking, instinct will urge you to run fast to find shelter. Resist that instinct. Running will make you stumble, increase your heart rate and breathing, causing you to inhale more cold air, accelerating the hypothermia process. Instead, find a fixed object: a tree, a lamppost, a wall. Hold on there if the wind is too strong. If you must move, use objects as sequential landmarks. Do not leave landmark A until you clearly identify landmark B. In the worst case, when you are lost in the suburbs or the wild and cannot find the way out and night is falling, continuing to walk can be a death sentence. At this point, emergency shelter building skills come into play. If the snow is thick enough, dig a snow cave or a shelter hole under a coniferous tree. It sounds paradoxical to crawl into snow to avoid the cold, but snow is an excellent insulator because it contains a lot of air inside. The temperature inside a properly built snow cave can remain at 0 degrees Celsius or slightly higher thanks to your body heat, despite the outside being minus 20 degrees Celsius or minus 30 degrees Celsius with gusty winds. This is enough to keep you from freezing to death overnight while waiting for rescue. But remember to create a small vent hole to avoid CO2 suffocation. In short, walking in a blizzard is never a romantic stroll like in music videos. It is a real survival battle. Threats come from all sides, from the bone-chilling cold that freezes blood vessels, from the deadly electrified ground, to the sky full of icy scythes. Thorough preparation is never redundant. A pair of good waterproof boots, proper layered clothing, a phone with a full battery, kept warm close to the body so it doesn't shut down, and most importantly, a cool head full of knowledge. Do not let subjectivity kill you. Next time, when you see heavy snow falling and the wind starts to howl, ask yourself, is this trip really necessary? If the answer is no, stay indoors. If you must go, bring the knowledge I just shared as a shield to protect your life.